It's the anti-tracker.
We will return to your scheduled programming shortly, or we are currently experiencing technical difficulty.
What is going on, everybody? Michael J. Crawford, the anti-tracker here. And Sci-Fi Guy was first today, ousting Thomas. Don't know how he did it, but congratulations, Sci-Fi Guy. You were, in fact, first. BIRDOPREY is also here, says bailout. Well, yeah, based on the name of the stream. What I'm talking about there, Bird, is basically just when is the federal government going to do something about the craziness going on at certain large tech companies that I shall not name. But yeah. Legion says, hey, Darren is not first. John is here, says Krapla. Dan23 is here, says, hey, Thomas Potts, little late to the game, a full 2 minutes after Sci-Fi Guy says hi. Commander Shran says hello. Alex says 5 or something. John is talking to BIRDOPREY. He wants his student loans forgiven. I wouldn't mind having my student loans forgiven. I'll be completely honest about that. However, I also, that doesn't mean I'm going to start voting for that political party because, yeah. Wait, why jump out of the plane? I'm not planning on jumping out of a plane. Antrack got dizzy today and puked up my stomach since I was... Wait, Antrack... Oh, you're saying you got dizzy today and puked up my stomach since I was 5? I'm not sure what you mean by the since I was 5, but I hope you get better soon, Blackout. It sucks when you're puking up. Man, I hate that. I truly do. Did you know there was breathing at the end of your video? That was not intentional. So, oops. But then I'm a little out of practice. Mr. Miles has been editing most of the videos, and that was my fault. I'll try to make comments make sense and spell correctly. Well, thank you. I don't judge on spelling, but it does make it easier for me to read, being dyslexic. That's a screensaver that might that's a screensaver that might get you in trouble. Yeah, I know. It's like, but it's so beautiful. I love the Connie. I'm not gonna lie. I just saw that and I was like, oh yeah, I want to keep that going. And Rock Solid says here, but in the background on a conference call. All right, Rock Solid. I will try not to distract you from your conference call. Josh Seed says, hi, Tracker. Did you take the bullseye bird on your? Did you take the bullseye bird put on your back? No, it's still there. 2 minutes, the notification just came. Yeah, you know what? I'm not surprised. In fact, when I posted my video, BIRDOPREY and I were talking, and it took a little longer than usual for the notifications to go out there. YouTube is just, I'm not actually attacking them or accusing them of maliciousness here. But with all the changes they've been trying to make to the algorithm, they've had a lot of unintended side effects, I think. Bird don't fit, can't acquit. Okay, not sure what you mean there. Captain Cat is here. Says, hey guys, hey Captain, I hope you are well. Commie, says Legion, just kidding. Well, no, I'm not saying I would support, as a matter of principle, I'm not suggesting that I would support the idea of student loan forgiveness. However, I'm just saying, personally, if they were to forgive my student loans, I would like that. And that's obviously why the Democrats use that as a tactic, because for all of us that have student loan debt that we're struggling with, that sounds very attractive. And so it'd be very tempting to say, ooh, I'll vote for the Democrats to get my student loans taken care of, without stopping to think about A, what just doing that would do, and B, all the other craziness they want to do. Karoga should pay all our student loans. You are right on the money there, Thomas. Speaking of right on the money, thank you so much for the $1.99 and wants to see number 18. You got it, my friend.
Oh, no, please, I don't want to go. I don't want to go, please. No,
I have to save that old person.
No.
Why would you do this to your fans? Heartless monster!
Alright, let me try that again. I know exactly what happened. There was, let's see. Yeah, turn that off. And then go back so that you can see it without the extra commentary.
I have to save that old person.
Well, thank you very much for helping me steal this.
All right, there we go. Black Adam says, "Hey, Trigger, how are you, man, today?" Well, I am still man, but I'm sore, but also excited about the possibilities of the future. I'm looking forward to getting the procedures done on my back and my knee, and hopefully getting better soon. This week, I got a book called the USS Enterprise Owner's Manual Guide. I haven't heard of that one. I mean, when I was a kid, my favorite of those, like, fictional technical type books that I've ever had. I do like the original Starfleet Technical Manual, which I have right up there on the desk behind me. But I used to have Mr. Scott's Guide to the Enterprise, which was all about the refit Enterprise, and I absolutely loved that one. So yes. And by the way, of course, you can see the best tweet ever right there. Got to keep it there for posterity because it is nice to know that the bias was a lie. And Not Ryan Jensen says hi to everybody. Hey, how you doing, my friend? DJ Odyssey says hi to everybody. How you doing? Peter says, talking about health, and checker, how is that vertebrae? It's still hurting. I'm very much looking forward to getting it hopefully fixed once and for all. Got the notification from YouTube instantly today. Well, that's a change. And good, I suppose. Peter says, thoughts and prayers to Black Adam. Absolutely. I would like a refund for my loans already repaid. Yeah, me too, Bird. That's the thing. It's like, if they're going to say we're going to forgive all student loan debt, does that mean they owe me money for all the money I've already paid? You know, there's several $1,000s I've paid in my student loans, and I still owe too much. Turn and face away from the camera. I want to see if BIRDOPREY assassinates you again. I'd rather not, just because, yeah, I'd rather stay alive this time. Yeah, I also got notification instantly and on time. That's weird, Dan. So it's like, it seems like their notification system is a little, shall we say, inconsistent right now. I think you shouldn't have to pay federal income tax if you were honorably discharged from the U.S. Armed Forces. I disagree, Darren, and I'll tell you why. I think everybody should pay some taxes. I think everybody should have a stake in the government. And that's why I don't believe in things like personal exemptions and stuff like that. I think there should be an absolute flat tax, single rate for everybody. No write-offs, no exemptions, and just make it work. I don't care if you make minimum wage or $1 million, you should pay the same percentage of your income to the government. It's education, man. I mean, education benefits in the country in a long-term record in cash dollar. I'm not sure what you mean there, Peter. You know what? And here's the thing. If you're going to do universal education, I'm not entirely opposed to that. But I think you need to basically, there's a lot of work to do to make that happen. Sounds like a wall scam that will never happen. Forgive student loans, vote for us. Whoops, won't work. Yeah. You're absolutely right. It's precisely not a matter of principle, but an individual personal matter. If I win the lottery, I'll pay you the amount that your schooling costs. You don't have to do that, Legion, but thank you. Are we talking about how much we need to be bailed out of student loans? No, and this name is fake. I was the bailout. What I was talking about is I'm waiting for the federal government to step in and fix things like this, honestly. However, you know, the student loan bailout, I think, is an interesting idea, but I'm personally, even though I have student loans and I would benefit from that, I got to say, in principle, I'm against it. So Dan says, my avatar, WC, toilet, my avatar. No idea what that means, but okay, Dan. This is my kind of stream. Rambling Canuck says, good morning, Anti-Checker and all. Hey, Brian McFarland is here and says, hi, me-ho, everybody. Good to see you, Brian. DJ says, hail to Rambling Canuck. Roland says, hail. Hey, Roland, how you doing? And I'm a little bit behind. Let me try to get caught up. I will gladly hand over my JD to anyone who wants to buy out my student loan debt. Antrick, are you interested? I don't know what your JD is. This name is fake, but I don't have the money to do that anyway, so I guess I would have to say no. Mars says, what's up? Uncle Remus says, zippity-doo-dah, another wonderful day. Oh, Uncle Remus. Oh, you racist bastard. Dr. Alex is in the house, says, good afternoon, Anti-Checker. How you doing, Dr. Alex? I hope that you are well. I know you have a birthday coming up, and so you're going to be, what, something like 30, but that's like 120 in American years because you guys suck so bad. Wesley says, what's up, everyone? Hey, Wesley, how you doing? I don't like the Twitter notifications because it's telling me what other people are saying, and none of it is to do with what I posted. I agree. I don't particularly care. I don't like the way Twitter notifications work. I get so confused by Twitter. Maybe it's because I'm old. I don't know. But, I mean, I never seem to get a notification for what I want, and I always get notifications for crap I don't care about. So, yeah, I don't like Twitter for that very much. What did, let's see, what did Redneck do to get banned? Is he banned for YouTube? No, he is not. That's a very long story. There was an incident between him, another person on Discord, and Captain George stepped in. They have had a discussion. Captain Redneck will be coming back, and so keep an eye out for that. When Captain Redneck is back, he will post in the general chat to everyone, kind of explaining. What is going on today, says Wesley? Well, immediately after the stream, me and Mrs. Anti-Checker have to go shopping. And after we go shopping, I am going to come home and continue working on getting that Galaxy Quest review done and getting things organized here in the Anti-Checker lair, which my subscribers who are on the subscriber stream know exactly why that is. The rest of you will find out in the very near future. So if you, BIRDOPREY, if you was a hit on my radio show, Oh, did you play a BIRDOPREY song on your show? Oh, man, DJ, you should have recorded that so we could all hear it. All creators are held to the same substandards. You know, I was thinking about that for a minute, and I was thinking, if they're saying all creators are held to the same standard, they could be technically telling the truth. If that's, here's the thing, like, let's say that, I'm just trying to throw something random out there. I hate people with blue eyes, right? So if you have blue eyes, I'm going to shoot you in the face. Now, somebody might say, that's not fair. And I'll say, no, it's completely fair and impartial. I will check every single person to make sure they don't have blue eyes, and if they do, I'll shoot them in the face. What about people with brown eyes? I will check the people with brown eyes to make sure they don't have blue eyes, and if they have blue eyes, I'll shoot them in the face. See, I could actually say I'm being completely fair and unbiased. That's what that tweet means to me. I didn't say honorably discharged vets shouldn't pay taxes. That's not what I said. Oh, I must have misread it then, Darren. I apologize. How the hell was not Ryan Johnson's comment held for review? I didn't see it. Somebody got it before. Oh, probably the all creators one. Probably because YouTube is paranoid right now. I'm sure this live stream is going to get demonetized. My friend's mates hates the Dems, but she is in a Walmart because of student department can't afford college. She says she's tempted. I understand. It's a good bribe. I'm telling you, that is a good bribe, but it's one that's been tried before. You know, history repeats itself. Michael Dukakis, back in the late 80s, ran on the exact same idea, free college education for everyone. And you know what? I was young and dumb, and I voted for him because of that. But he didn't win. It was not enough. The more tax they pay, or they work for the government, the local the more tax they pay, or they work for the government or local councils for their education. I understand, and that was a concept of, like, I know the Democrats offered a thing where, like, you could get all your student loan debt forgiven if you worked for, like, the Peace Corps for a couple of years or something like that. All YouTube's creators are held to the same standard we put Crowder through. Yes. Trump has the site up to register your complaint against social media platforms, in case you didn't know. I did not know that, Legion. I would love to have that link if you have it. It should be a grant, not a loan, and not affected by interest. I agree with you on that too. I think that I don't think student loans should be interest-bearing loans. Because that's killing me, I'll be honest with you. Slow-paced, dramatic stakes involved, well-acted. The Doomsday Machine was a fantastic episode. Who would have thought a windsock could be so imposing? You are 100% right. Hey, I know there's a couple of clips of the Doomsday Machine on the screensaver behind me. And yeah, Doomsday Machine is probably my second favorite episode in all of Trek. And you guys should know that my favorite is, of course, Balance of Terror. And thank you, Captain Spire, for the $5. I truly do appreciate it, which means, of course, you can pick 1 through 10 if you want one of those UBERCHAT rewards. Throw that number at me, and I will play it. And Trigger, why does CBS keep renewing STD? Nobody's watching it or even likes it. You'd have to ask someone at CBS. I have no clue. I think it's hilarious that they're just pissing away money like this. And you know, it's funny. Maybe CBS secretly is just really in favor of supporting the little guy, and so they knew that if they put out this trash, that people like Doomcock and Nerdrotic and Mecha would be able to make a living off of complaining about it, and therefore they're trying. CBS is actually looking out for people like Gary over at Nerdrotic and Mecha and Doomcock, and to a lesser extent myself. So I think that might be it. You won't believe how big the base is now. I stayed up way too late. Oh, okay, Wes. I can't wait to see it. I'm gonna get on that game today sometime. So thank you, Wesley, for all your hard work in there. Do you want to switch student loans with me since I don't have one? Sure. If you want to take it, Josh, you certainly can. Dr. Alex says 30. I wish. 120. I wish. Okay, now you're making me curious how old you are. We need to get back to trade school system and less of a 4-year indoctrination. I tend to agree. I think trade schools should be more prevalent in our society because they can be very beneficial. DJ says hashtag me poo and hashtag free redneck. Redneck will be free. Don't worry. You know, like I said, I didn't have anything directly to do with the redneck situation, which he knows, but he and I have communicated a little bit about it, and he will be back on Discord soon. Don't carry any bags, anti-trigger. Okay, Peter, I won't. I'm not sure why, but okay. Chris throws 5 fake Canadian dollars in there. No YouTube notification. They say they treat everyone equally, so just take this fake Canadian money. Thank you so much, Chris. And of course, if you want a Super Chat or Uber Chat reward, throw it at me, my friend. I'll play it. Alexander, my favorite crazy guy, except for possibly Enderman of Doom. You guys are the crazy guys that around here. Says, I'm here. Neelix is God. Sonia Gomez rocks. Leslie Neal is the best actress ever. The Victorian baboon woman is Star Trek canon. We want Demore Sulu naked. Bernie 2020, feel the burn. Alex, you are... Oh, man, you're Batwoman crazy, man. I love you. Can you pick me up McDonald's while you are shopping? Sure thing, Thomas. So, do I have it recorded, LOL? Did I have to... I do have it recorded, LOL. I just had to edit out most of the rest of the show so it can be played on YouTube and not get DMCA'd. Very cool, DJ. I can't wait to hear it. Did you post it already? Because if so, I'm going to check it out. Grab me a milkshake, Gang Tracker, preferably a strawberry and a Mars bar. You got it. Just be here when I get home. Otherwise, I'm going to eat it myself. I have blue eyes. I'm reporting you to the police. Well... you can't... Oh, darn it. Supermarkets don't like it when you carry bags from other supermarkets when you're shopping. Well, I don't care. You know what? We do use reusable bags when we go to the store most of the time, and I don't care. If I walk into a Walmart with a Publix bag or a Publix with a Walmart bag, I do not care. I buy bags wherever they look like they're decent and sturdy, and they're cheap. Why don't every country on Earth bail us out for the 900 trillion we rebuilt everything and saved the world over the last 80 years? That's never going to happen because, you know, they'll say everything is our fault. Did you see my reply to your tweet, Trigger? Thought you would approve. I did not. And that's why I was talking about. I hate Twitter. I can't see Jack on... let me see. Okay. Let me see if this works. No, you see, I go to... Twitter and then we go to notifications. Let's see. Captain Cat and 5 others liked my tweet that was a response. Okay. There it is, Peter. So you said, oh, really? And let's see. And let's see. To migrate YouTube videos, new platform, one click. Oh, okay, there's some cool stuff there, but yeah. All right, so I'm not going to sit there and stare at Twitter. I hate Twitter. It's a neat idea, but it doesn't feel very intuitive to me. But maybe it's because I'm old, like I said. There is nothing free. Well, that's not true. Oppression is free. Did you see Eric Trump got spit on by a waiter in Chicago? I just made reservations for next weekend to give them by business, but that waiter is screwed. Wow. That's messed up. YouTube cannot be equitable inherently to its design. All creators do not have access to equal opportunities. That's true, and they can't. I mean, and here's the thing. I don't even think that they should be 100% equal. If somebody is, in fact, putting up something that is a violation of the terms of service of YouTube, then I have no problem with YouTube bringing them down or demonetizing the video. What I have a problem with, though, is that those rules are nebulous. We don't know what they are. Only YouTube knows what they are, but if we break them, they come down on us like a ton of bricks. Well, you can't do that if you're not going to tell us what the rules are. That's unfair. That is, and it's morally wrong. What you need to, if you expect us to behave in a certain way, you have to tell us what that certain way is. Now, so if they say you cannot, for example, show nudity on your channel, fine, no nudity and all that. However, if they start saying, if they start discriminating against what we consider protected groups, right? You cannot discriminate based on race. You cannot discriminate based on gender, that kind of thing. If they're doing that, which they are, then that's a problem, and that needs to be dealt with. Dukakis lost for a lot of reasons, including his commercial where he's riding around in a tank with a crooked helmet on. He looked like Beetle Bailey. Yeah. Trinity College, our Harvard cost $20K for all 4 years. Yeah, that's a little too much. The generation before mine got free education, no fees to pay plus maintenance grants. Then they burnt their bridges behind them. I was almost the last to get no fees grants, maintained university. Maintained university. Okay. Man, I can't read. Well, Dr. Alex, you see, that's the thing. How good of a doctor are you if you got free education? Antrick, are you going to vote for Obama's granddaddy Biden in 2020? No. If I don't know that I can see myself voting for Trump, but I'm definitely not. The way the Democrats are right now, I will listen to what they have to say, but I highly doubt, unless Biden has completely done a 180, I highly doubt that he would say anything that would convince me to vote for him, and I'll probably end up voting for the Libertarian again. In this country, you apply for grants for further education, and it depends on your family's income how much you get. Well, we have a similar thing like that here. We call them scholarships, and there's the Pell Grant and stuff like that do help out people, but it's not enough. Education is ridiculously expensive, and it's artificially expensive. It does not need to be so expensive, but the colleges are basically conspiring to keep the rates of education that high. They make a buttload of money. And by the way, there's only like 1 or 2 book publishers for college books. And so the college books are so insanely expensive. I'm sorry, a textbook costing a couple of $100 is insane because it's just some paper and a binding. You know what? If I can buy a hardbound first edition of the Starfleet Technical Manual for $30, there is no reason in hell that a pre-med book for going to college should cost $250. I'm sorry. That is stupid. And you have to buy multiple books for a lot of classes. And so the book cost alone is thousands upon thousands of dollars every term. It's just stupid. Surf says Doomsday Machine is a giant bugle chip. Does look like one, but it is actually a windsock dipped in cement. Let's play number 4. Hit it, Johnny. You got it, my friend. Number 4. What is it? Nobody knows, but we're about to find out.
I now pronounce you man and turd. You may now kiss.
Joshua, what are you doing?
Nothing. I'm definitely not making you kiss Law. I repeat, I am not making you kiss Law. I'm definitely not.
unfortunately, there's not going to be a part 4. Dad just fixed the computer, and he promises not to destroy it again as long as I don't do another one of those, so there's going to be no part 4. Wait, hold on, I just got a text message. Please do these videos. Part 4 is very anticipated. Nope, I quit.
Get him.
Sing it! Sing it! Sing it!
And there it is. By the way, well, let me get caught up first. I got something I want to show you guys that I think is rather interesting. The Office is leaving Netflix. Well, I don't really watch The Office, and I don't subscribe to Netflix, so yeah, it means nothing to me. But I'm sorry if you like that. All advertising is good advertising. It gets people talking. True to a point. I don't think what's going on with YouTube is necessarily good for them. Trump looks like Trump. The new animated film is Queen's Corgis. A lot of people don't like him, but they think the animation of him is realistic. Okay. Chris says, Andrew, any thoughts on the possible new short treks to include number 1 and Spork? I don't know. I haven't heard anything from CBS, of course, and I don't deal in rumor very much, but if they do a short trek with number 1 and Spork, it could be the best of the short treks, because I do like Spock in Discovery. I actually liked his character, except for in that last episode where they completely neutered him. But for the most part, I actually enjoyed him. I like the fact that he was willing to stand up to Michael Burnham. 2 years after me, no grants, and then the fees are paid by the students to Everclimbing. By today, we basically have a U.S. system where we're with crushing debt. Of course, people today can't have it free. Of course not. But that's the problem with when you try to do all these free things in social programs, Doctor. That's where we run into the problem of, well, you got to pay for it eventually, and you got to pay for it somehow. And so if you all get it free, guess what? The next generation gets screwed. Were you able to use the GI Bill? I was not. I didn't serve the proper amount of time or under the proper circumstances to get the GI Bill. Alexander throws 2 fake Canadian dollars in and says the entire universe wants MCU Aunt May naked. That is not true, Alexander. That is absolutely not true. Aunt May, I understand you want to see her naked, but Marissa Tomei, I've said it before, she looked all right back when she was in My Cousin Vinny. Now she just looks like a middle-aged woman. And I don't really care to see that. Not yet. I'm still trying to get woke up. I'll get posted some point. All right. And I'm going to try to get caught up. Man, I am way behind. 10 minutes behind. I usually don't. I'm pulling full on BIRDOPREY mode. So I'm get through this. Just the ones that addressed to me. So when you're going to get to be at Dragon Con or something like that, it would be great if 100 of us do a meetup. That would be awesome. I'm not going to be able to make it this year, obviously, because of the back situation, but hopefully next year I can. Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. JFK, vote for us and we'll give you money. Democrats 2019. That is 100% accurate, Thomas. Wait, what? That would be a bad idea. We might not like each other in person. Well, that's true, too. You always take that chance. Trigger, I asked my friend to get me a giant reusable bag for Comic-Con haul. She got me a bright pink one with a unicorn and a kitten on it. Apparently calling her a gnome wasn't nice. Well, you shouldn't have called her a gnome. That is true. Man, it's loud out there. The neighbors are having to cut down trees and stuff, so I apologize if you can hear it. Mike Richards is here, says, hi, what I missed? Not a whole lot. Me complaining, which is, normally normal. What? No nudity on my channel? I thought San Francisco proved we had the right to be naked 24/7. Yeah, and the funny thing is that Google is, of course, in your neck of the woods. You would think that they would be all for nudity. Honestly, they really should be. If they're going to take this social progressivism to the extreme that they seem to want to, why do they care about nudity? They should only care about nudity that is degrading to women. Another reason to have a backup list of uploaded videos, hand checker. I watch them a week or so after. If it is demonetized and remonetized, you'll still get ads when I watch it. Well, thank you. And I am going to, I do have my BitChute account. I haven't put a lot there yet. I'm going to be posting stuff there regularly once I can get everything set up. Mrs. Anti-Trekker is uploading videos to her channel as a backup as well. This name is fake. YouTube keeps the rules opaque so they can have plausible deniability when people get upset, yet they don't straight up ban conservatives because they want those conservative clicks. Yeah, so they demonetize conservatives. And here's the funny thing. I mean, I've been feeling the wrath of YouTube a lot lately, and I'm not a political channel. I'm not a news channel. I mean, the news we do is mostly as a joke because we're just reacting to stupid fake news articles. But we're not dealing with hard news. We're not dealing with, oh, Trump did this or Pelosi did this. That's not my thing. But I've been getting a lot of it from YouTube. My viewership has been cut in half because they will not put my videos in suggestions. They keep removing subs every single day. It is so bad. And here's the thing. I actually can see the lie because I think this is an actual bug in the system. That on the one hand, like it currently shows that I have 8,604 subscribers. Now keep in mind, I broke 8,600 like a month ago. It kept dropping, going back, dropping, going back, dropping, going back. And I've been suspicious that a lot of these subscribers being removed from my channel were being removed against their will. And several of you have voiced as much that you've had to resubscribe to my channel. Well, get this. This was just a few minutes ago before I started this live stream. I was going into the Creator Studio in order to get things set up. Now, here's a screenshot of the YouTube Creator Studio on my computer. Now, notice next to my avatar, you see, there's 1,400,000 views, 8,604 subscribers, exactly what I said. Now, look on the far right, and it says Anti-Trekker, 9,000 subscribers. Now, I know that number is a rounded number. However, a few weeks ago, that said 8.6 thousand subscribers. A couple of days ago, it said 8.9 thousand subscribers. I should be at 9,000 subscribers right now. I absolutely should. I think that I have 9,000 subscribers and YouTube has suppressed 400 subscribers over the last month. I truly, honestly believe that. Ranty right now, when you get a chance, I'd love your opinion on this video. All right, Ranty. And I will check it out. First video on this channel. And that's right, there's another one that someone sent me, and I can't remember who, but it was a fake interview, and I haven't had a chance to watch it. I will do so. Ad revenue, says Peter. Yeah. Let's see. Alexander says, you should vote for Bernie Sanders. No, I am not a socialist. Sorry, Alexander. And that's not, I'm not saying that as a snide remark. I'm not a socialist. Bernie Sanders is. YouTube rules that you can't show or mention any white middle-aged Christian political to white straight males. That's true. Personal circumstances for grants, not family income. I would say this. I think that you need either universal education or capitalistic education. I don't like half-assing it. I do think, actually, with education, I don't have a problem with the universal education program where all public schools, including public colleges, are funded 100% by the government. As it is, I think that that's doable. Private schools will always be very expensive, and if you want to go to Harvard or whatever that's a private school, then yeah, you got to do that. But if you go to University of Oregon, that's a public school, it should be free. Now, you still have to apply to get into the colleges just like any other time, but it's not. But your application status is based completely on your grades, and if you have people that are unable to they're tied, like you have a ton of people that have the same GPA trying to get into the school, and you don't have enough slots, then you put priority to people in reverse of their income level. So the poorer they are, the higher they are on priority. No factor for race, no factor for religion, no factor for politics, just grades and income. Let's see. Smart move. You're not saying you would vote for Trump on YouTube. They would bury you more. That's true. But it's also, I will say this, but that's a fact. I did not vote for Trump. On the back of my truck, I actually have a sticker that says neither one 2016. Let's see. University of Wisconsin La Crosse went to a free textbook system that works like a library. You check them out for a semester. You only pay for them if you lost them. That's actually good. And the professors hated it. Of course they did, because they get kickbacks from the book companies. What? Professors get kickbacks? Yes, they do. In Quebec, I paid for my summer course and it cost me $275 US. We did a collective choice and it gives to give access to knowledge. Well, okay. I'm not sure what your point there is, Alexander. Grr, gotta go. Hope to see you tomorrow. And Checker, thanks for the great content. All the best. All right, Legion, take care of yourself. Wesley said, I would rather see more of the scarfed insect Joshua in the super chats. Tell him he's a funny character. I will, and you can send him a message on Discord. He's on my Discord. Just send him to the, and it's scarved, not scarfed. Just so you know. Cute mug. Thank you, my friend. I got a lot of mugs like this. Amazingly, I only have one mug that has a poop emoji on it. Maybe professors weren't paid $300,000 a year. College would cost less. Yeah, I think that college professors should make the same amount as any other teacher. I'm sorry. There's nothing special about them. They're not magical beings. And by the way, I also say eliminate the concept of tenure. Now, private schools can do whatever the hell they want. Public schools, there should be no such thing as tenure, and break the damn unions. I'm sorry. You know what? I don't have a problem with teachers. Teachers are great people. Most of them get into education for the right reasons. Most of them care about kids. However, as soon as you demotivate them by putting tenure and say, hey, you can never be fired, as soon as you make a union so powerful that the school system cannot do anything that makes any kind of logical sense, it is broken. Break the damn union. It's not that hard. You know how you do it? You say, we are no longer recognizing the union. The teachers go on strike. You know what? You hold fast. You say, sorry, you can be on strike all you want. We'll close down the schools until you're ready, and we'll just immediately start hiring people, at a reasonable wage. And if they maintain the strike, you start hiring teachers, and you will break them. You absolutely will break them. They cannot strike forever. And yes, it'll suck for the kids that 1 year, but you will get a better education system out of it. Sent you a message on Discord. All right, Peter, I will check it. You guys always send me messages on Discord when... let's see. What is that? That's... let me bring it over here so other people can see. So... It looks like it's a collection of the official Star Trek fact files. I don't even know what that is, but that looks pretty cool. And it looks like it's pretty darn big, too. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. Work on getting caught up here. Do you like Venom films with or without Spider-Man? I thought the Venom film was okay, Dan, but I think it would have been better if Spider-Man was in it. I do. I thought because I love Tom Holland's Spider-Man. They can't allow for female nudity in case of male gaze. Yeah, that's true. Do you still not have your YouTube channel set to BitChute account settings so it auto backs up? I try to. I haven't been on the BitChute in a couple of days, so I don't know if it's kicked in yet. I'm not in San Francisco. I just said that for sarcasm purposes. I'm on the other side of the country, the one that's saying that you can get 800 square feet for $400 a month. I understand. But yeah. It says 10,740 subs, so you can tell us the reason behind your name. Nope, I can't until I actually am getting the views for having 10,000 subs. I ain't doing it. There's a theory that Google is taking pot shot at smaller channels. Yeah, I think that's a little more than a theory. I'm sorry. That's yeah. Yeah, universal education for all, Iron Trigger. That's my vote. And here's the thing. Keep in mind, we already have a public school system, and while I'm nobody's socialist, and for the most, I'm a lowercase L libertarian, I say that frequently. But what I say is that if you're going to do something that's going to be a federal program, do it right, damn it. Don't half-ass it. So if you're going to do public education, which is something I do believe in because I think that it's necessary, you go from, full from kindergarten through a PhD if they qualify. But when you get to secondary education, they have to apply, they have to show aptitude, and they can't. So you're not going to get a C student getting a free ride to getting an MBA or a PhD. Not going to happen. And unless nobody else is interested in that particular category. Hot stuff. You sure that isn't Mrs. Antichecker's mug? Well, it should be, but no, this is definitely my mug. I have all the really big coffee mugs because I like big cups of coffee. University cannot legally cost more than $11,000 by U.S. by season college. This is $250 a season session. Okay, but you know what? How about universities just free unless it's a private institution, and the private institutions can charge whatever the hell they want. Government does one thing. Well, break things. Military plus. Yeah. Does one thing well. Break things. Military. Yes, they do that. Well, here's the thing. The United States has done better than average. I mean, considering how young our country is, I think the government's done a fairly good job. The Constitution was set up to try and prevent tyranny, and as it is right now, the government is doing everything they can to circumvent that. However, what's worse is that you have companies that I shall not mention by name, Google, but they are becoming their own form of tyranny and trying to literally take over the world. And that to me is scary. Enter, you should tell them that you are replaceable. Well, tell who, but I am. So not sure what you mean. And by the way, John, don't forget to throw in a super chat if you want it. According to the stats, the only people in college campuses dumber than education majors are journalism majors. Bottom line, teachers are dumb. Well, no, I'm not going to say teachers are dumb. I think some of them are wonderful people. Joshua's high school teacher, Miss Colston, was absolutely phenomenal. I had a teacher when I was in high school named Mrs. Butler that was incredible. Mr. Osborne was hilarious. There were a lot of great teachers, but there's also a lot of bad ones. Those fact files folders are basically memory alpha and print. I would love to have that. That's actually pretty cool. And BitChute also auto backup rarely works. That's what I've heard, and I'm having trouble with it. You're quite BIRDOPREY behind. I know I am. I'm working on it though, but I'm catching up. I'm only a couple minutes behind. BIRDOPREY says, indeed, don't half-ass things. Put your full ass into it. Yes, 100%. I think. The schools need to be privately funded. Let the free market determine the cost, and let the schools fight for our money. Well, ranting, but that's why I say separate. That we have public schools and private schools in the United States right now. The insult to things is that public schools are actually mostly funded by the government. So they are pissing away a lot of money with those tuition costs. And here's what you do. You put all schools under the same system. And those public schools should be just that, public schools. You should not have to pay for an education. You should not have to, you should not, and the whole scholarships and grants, that's part of the thing that drives up the cost. And student loans drive up the cost. We make it possible for people to pay more, so they charge more. And for the private schools, like I said, if Harvard wants to charge you $75,000 to get a degree from Harvard, just so you can say I have a degree from Harvard, fine. However, if you're going to a public school, so you're going to Middle Tennessee State, which is a university in the town I live in, if you go to that school, it should be 100% free. Dog the Bounty Hunter's wife died. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I never watched Dog, but I'm sure he feels horrible about that. Echo Base throws $10 in. Thank you so much. Took your advice yesterday. Tell me what you think now. It's our last video for 17 seconds long. Let me take a look here, Echo Base, and see what you did.
Stardate 11981 point.
All right, that's obviously not it. Let's go to videos. And Echo Base, what's going on is he made an intro video that I was recommending that they alter a little bit. Let's see.
Echo 3 to Echo 7. Ano, buddy, you read me? Echo Station 5-7. We're on our way.
Better. Definitely better. Now, I would say this.
Echo 3 to Echo 7.
And this is just from personal experience, Echo Base. You don't have to go that hardcore with the static and distortion, because either they're going to hit you or they're not. I would tone that back a little bit, as long as you're cutting things so that you're not seeing it exactly as it was originally presented, and I think you'll be okay. Generally speaking, a 15-second clip is as far as I go. And you'll notice, by the way, like on my Galaxy Quest reviews and some of my recent Borg reviews, well, recent, I know it's been a while, but in some of those reviews, I use a ton of clips with full audio, but I keep those clips to less than 15 seconds, and guess what? No copyright strikes. And Trigger, fellow nerds, just got back from my place of employment. Only kidding myself. I said work. If I said work. Yeah, let's not pretend you actually work. And by the way, of course, Echo Base, if you want a Super Chat reward, let me... Oh, Super Chat 17, he says. All right, so what is Super Chat 17? Oh.
Hey, you want to learn about Jesus?
There's no such thing as hooker-client confidentiality.
Jeez. Painful, my friend. Anyway, Andrew, let's see. Just back. Okay, just read that. Ranting Redneck says, Beth Chapman has lost her battle with cancer. Rest in peace, Beth. Absolutely. And that sucks. However, I do like what a comedian said about when people say lost their battle with cancer. Not true, because when the person dies, the cancer in them dies, so at best they didn't lose, it was a tie, or at worst. So Mrs. Anti-Trigger is here. It says, Mrs. Colston is not a teacher, babe. She's an amazing coordinator, though. I'm sorry, yes, you're right. She's technically not a teacher, but she's, you know what I'm saying, babe. And you know there was Miss Werner and other teachers that have helped Joshua so much over the years that there, and I know you can tell stories as well about some great teachers in your day. But there are some great teachers out there, but tenure breaks that system. Let's see. Thomas says she was a tough lady who took no BS. I assume you're talking about a teacher you had respect for, but I'm not sure who. Or are you talking about the dog's wife that died? I'm sending you some cans of Wild Planet sardines. Oh, no, you don't have to send me side. Well, Mrs. Antchecker might like them, but she's really more of a Kippers person, but we'll see. I'll try to eat them. I don't know. I will try. And I may even do it on a live stream, but that will be very difficult for me. The thought of sardines is gross to me. DJ says, hail, Mrs. Antchecker, queen of all turds. Bow down before your queen. Absolutely, yes. Let's see. Mars says this video explains. I don't know what this video is. Oh, it's about education system. I'll check that out. Mrs. Anti-Trigger needs must. Haha, Mrs. Anti-Trigger needs must. Haha, Mrs. Anti-Trigger needs must. Peter, I'm having trouble typing there, I think. Sardines are nothing more than bait. Yeah, I kind of think that, yes. Ordinarily, I disapprove of husbands calling their wives things like babe in front of single people, but when you do it, it's just got the right amount of class. Thank you, Derek. Well, you know what? Honestly, that's what I call her more than... I feel funny calling her name. We've used pet names for each other since, for 30 years now. So it's like kind of hard. Actually, it's been... We first met... it's 2019, so 32 years ago. And we've been so 32 years ago we met. So I'd say about 31 years we've been calling each other nothing but pet names, like and babe is the most common one we use these days. Your husband stole your coffee mug. I know it has to be yours because it says hot stuff. Yes, they said that. Josh says hi to Mrs. Anti-Checker. Darren says, the first name was Hernia or Helga, then yeah, call her babe. Well, her name is not Hernia or Helga. You guys know that. It's about moving from a degree system to a subject matter certification system with online education and testing. Think IT certifications. I could see something like that. And by the way, I'm not opposed to online education to save money. I'm certainly not. For kids that can handle it, that's good for some kids. Other kids need to have the social construct of a classroom. And so I think that we can adapt our education system and modernize our education system. But I absolutely believe that every child should have an opportunity for free education as far as they want to go, as long as they're putting the effort into it. So that's why I'm saying no coasting along. If a kid flunks out of high school, they don't get free college. However, as long as they're maintaining a halfway decent GPA, free college. They get a decent GPA in getting their bachelor's, they can move on to a master's. They get a strong GPA in their master's, they can go on to a PhD if that's what they want to do. However, the government's not paying for their stuff along the way, right? So they still have to, have a place to live, assuming their parents will let them stay with them, or have a job to pay their rent or whatever. They're not getting, we're not going to fill them with $100,000 in student debt so that they graduate and then spend the rest of their lives trying to pay back their loans. Sardines and mustard are awesome, but nothing beats anchovies on pizza. Joshua would agree with you on that. My son Joshua loves anchovies on pizza. He's the only person I know that actually does. Next, I may play Bird's original ode to my unsubscriber. Oh yeah, I love that song. That is a classic Bird of Prey song. I thought her pet name was Ebony Mom. No, Ebony Mom is her online name that she created, and mainly because of it's got a really nice double meaning as far as, because our daughter's name is Ebony, but she is also my wife is also dark skinned, so she is Ebony, and so Ebony Mom, and she's also a mom. I think that nobody, and I mean nobody, should be able to graduate high school without knowing how compound interest works. I agree. I think that we are way too easy on kids as far as graduation. I say they either learn the stuff or they keep, they repeat school. And I do think that, 1 through 12 is mandatory, right? And then if you want to go through college and you just say that that's 13, 14, 15, and 16, those are not mandatory, but as long as you graduate at 12 with a decent GPA, you can move on to 13, 14, 15, 16. And then 17, 18 to get your master's, you better do well in 16 to get to 17, and then 19, 20 if you want to get your PhD, and again, same thing. At least it's not brown sugar. No, she doesn't like that one. I've tried it. And yeah, she doesn't like that. Bird pet name for AOC is Alexa. Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Play Bird of Prey version of Faith of the Heart on the radio. That's good. That's good. That's some good Bird of Prey singing. Miss Antrigger, have a good day. Yes, babe. I'll be down in just a little bit. I know we got to go to the store and stuff. Meatballs are the best pizza topping, hands down. I like me some meatballs on pizza, although I really like, honestly, chicken as a pizza topping. I love chicken on my pizza. Peter says, totally agree with the effort part. Well, good. I'm against affirmative action for anybody, but I do believe the inner city schools need to be brought up to standard. Well, that's the thing. I think that all schools need to be at the same standard. And this is why, and this is, I know, pisses off a lot of my conservative friends here, but I'm going to get liberal here for just a minute. This is my platform on education. First and foremost, we strip down the education system as it is. We do not have a state-by-state education system as we currently do. You federalize education. And I know, I'm a federal minimalist, and you're probably thinking, oh my God, Andy Checker, what are you talking about? You federalize education. You fund every school in this country equally, with the exception of the cost of the real estate. They all get the same equipment. They all get the same basic budget for their staff. They all get funded equally, except for things that are regionally necessary, such as the cost of real estate or, let's be real, in some areas, extra security. Now, I know that some people are against that, but we have to equalize education. When we talk about the problems in our society and people say, oh, this group is oppressed or this group is oppressed, guess what? The key to that is education. The absolute key is freaking education. You've got to give these kids in the inner cities a chance to do well, or else they will never do well. And if you're not holding them, and let's be real, if you've been to an inner city school, the teachers don't give a crap, the students don't give a crap, and they're just sitting there waiting for 3 o'clock to roll around so they can go out and do whatever they're going to do. They need to be held to the same standard as some kid that's living in the West Hills or whatever, and I am sick of seeing the disparaging difference between schools in rich neighborhoods and schools in poor neighborhoods, because the funding of schools in the United States is currently mostly done via property taxes. And those property taxes, of course, are dependent on the value of the homes in the area, which means that schools and districts that have lower property values get less funding than schools in districts with high property values. And so you absolutely, and so number one, you federalize education. Number two, as far as Darth Maul teachers unions, I say break them completely, 100% break the teachers unions. Sorry. Now, you want to be a teacher. Being a teacher is like doing any other federal service role. You become a federal agent when you become a teacher, all right? And you will be paid well, number one. I would put starting salary for a teacher somewhere in the range of $60,000 to $75,000 a year, which would be a substantial increase from what they're making now. And like I said, I don't give a crap about the unions. They will be broken. So you start out with a decent wage for the teachers. However, with that extra money comes some extra responsibility. Those teachers are no longer secured in, I'm going to work in this school in the West Hills. No, you will work where they want to send you. Period. If they want you, because you're a good solid teacher and they need a good solid teacher at the inner city school, that's where you're going. Period. The teachers are working for the education system, not the other way around. But right now, the education system is all there working for the teachers. The teachers union is way too strong, needs to become completely broken. Now, when you start, you give the teachers DJ, tenure will be a thing of the absolute past. Teachers, they'll start at that $60,000 to $70,000 a year. Their pay raises will be based on their performance, period. You want more money? Like any other damn job, you do your job. And you will get more money. Sorry. That's just the way it is. So you could be transferred, and like any company or any other governmental agency can do, and you are not ever insulated from discipline. If you have a teacher, and we've all had this teacher where we're doing our lessons or whatever out of the books, and they're sitting there in the back. No. If you do that, you're gone. Period. Fire them. And so what teachers would work at sucky schools if they get paid on... That's the thing, Bird. They don't get to pick what school they go to. And so, and performance is relative. Yes, not every student is going to excel, but it's not like you can't measure how performance is done. You can come up with objective measurements. If you are at a school and you just start with the baseline of how that school has performed before you do this massive change, right? So if you're at a school where, say, the graduation rate of that school is 28%. Now, you put some teachers in there and you increase that. Well, those teachers are doing well. They deserve to get a raise. You put those teachers in there and it decreases, those teachers are not doing well. And yes, I do believe in standardized testing. You absolutely, because that's the only way to measure if the kids are learning anything. I also think that as far as primary education through high school, the required courses are the following: English, mathematics, history. Period. Now, you can also get a couple of elective courses that are trade type things. So like if you want to take metal shop, or you want to take drama, or you want to take whatever you want to take for your elective courses. But you will take English all the way through school, you will take mathematics all the way through school, and you will take history all the way through school. And by the way, Turlita, thank you. I love this shirt too. If you do that, if you make it so that and by the way, no more social engineering in schools, no politics in schools, period. All right. But except for in the political discussions of history, but you only stick to the facts. This is what happened, not this person was bad. And so you do that, I think that you drastically improve the education system. Then people that graduate 12th grade with good grades go on to 13 through 16, etc., like I said before. But you know what? Those college professors are going to be paid on the same skill and work in the same way. And so those teachers will be put wherever they are needed. BIRDOPREY says, someone picks who measures and all that. Well, you do it. And I know someone said a minute ago, it sounds like you're making it like the military. Yes, you organize it much like the military. You know what? The military sends you where they need you. And so if you get teachers that, and yeah, they can request posts, and hey, we'll try to keep you in the geographic area that you started in and all that if possible. But you know what? If you have a serious problem where there's a shortage of teachers in one state, you have to move them. And, yeah, you can pay for their moving expenses. But if you're going to get, I'm sorry, we'll even keep the schedule the way it is. But if you're going to work 6 hours a day and get 4 freaking months a year off, damn it, you can move. You'll be okay. I promise, you will be okay. Oh, you got to work in a school that's rough? Well, you get 4 months a year off to decompress from that. I think you'll survive. All right, I'm going to get off of my high horse here. I apologize. I believe in tuition at all levels, apart from gender studies, which costs $90K per semester education, all free, all the way to doctorate if you repeat or change. But if you repeat or change the study, you pay. Well, I'd say you have to continue on. Yeah, you can't just stay in school. Once you get through the doctorate level, you're done. If you want more education, you pay for it. You go to a private school. So you should be Secretary of Education. Thank you, Roland. And that's the thing. I know that what I just said flies in the face of my core values as a somewhat libertarian person. But that's what I'm saying. If you're going to do it right. Don't half-ass it. Let's full-ass this stuff and make it work. What if it's at 99% and it falls to 98? Do they get punished? No, they wouldn't get punished, but like any other job, your raise might be reduced, but it's not like they're going to break out the whips and chains because, not every school can be number one, and you will have dips and stuff. But if you're in that 90 percentile, I wouldn't, if you were at 98%, I would probably say anywhere from 95 to 98%. That's the upper echelon. Those people are going to do fine. They're going to get their raises. Please note, history, not social studies. Yes, rock solid, 100%. How about home economics, Andy-Trade, the likes of cooking, sewing, DIY? No. That would be an elective course if you want to do, like if you want to take cooking classes and sewing and stuff like that. Yeah. However, things like balancing your checkbook and home finance, that would be part of mathematics. That would be part of the required curriculum. But home ec would be an elective course. English, mathematics, history, no science. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Kiss, you're right. Basic science as well. I did that. That was my bad. So there are 4 core curriculums: English, math, history, science. I apologize. I knew I was forgetting something. But yes, science would be in there all the way through. Remember those teachers in high school who are always showing videos? You walk into the classroom, you see TV VCR set up in front of the room, and you turn your brain off. Yes! And those teachers would not do a damn thing. Marlena Moreau is in the house. How are you doing? Still making campaign commercials against each other. Yeah, we need to do that. Your plan is like people who think guns go away if you outlaw them. Disagree, Bird. I disagree. I think my plan is to make it so that education is truly universal and truly equally spread. And the only way to do that, I'm sorry, is to federalize it. Because even if you did this on a statewide level, well, guess what? If the California schools are better funded, well, they're not, but if the California schools are better funded than, say, the Maine schools, then it's not fair to the kids in Maine, right? We need to fully fund all schools everywhere and not have it dependent on property values. I'm sorry. All you're doing by saying local control over schools, that's the lie they're telling you. Because you know what? You don't have any damn control over your local schools. Local control just means they take it out of your property taxes, which means if you live in a low rent area, you get low rent education. And that basically pushes the cycle further and further that kids in poor areas get poor education. And then people want to bitch about racism and about crime and about that. Well, maybe if we gave them a decent education, we give them a chance to succeed, then maybe, damn it, some of them will succeed. Sorry. I'm very passionate about education, if you can't tell. And it's because I've seen it, too much of it firsthand. Watching my son go through it and all that, I absolutely believe that we need to fix education. That is something that we absolutely need to do. Let's see. And Black Adam sent me some stuff on Discord. Let's see. Our schools are primary English, Irish, math, history, art, nature, religion. Secondary English, Irish, math, history, computers, art, science, one of the 5 selected languages, PE, business, and religion. We study all religions, not just Catholic. First, I don't think religious studies belong in public education. I don't. I think that take religious studies out of it, unless you're going to secondary education, you're specializing in divinity or something like that. However, you're going to probably go to a private college or a seminary if you're going to do something like that. But I don't believe that in public education we need to be having religion or politics. Once you get to secondary, yes, because secondary is 100% elective courses. So if you're majoring in politics or you're majoring in religion, that's one thing. But you should not be forced to go through any of that, because you are going to be indoctrinated no matter what. Second, I don't believe that PE should be a required course. I don't care what people say about kids being in physically good shape. PE is torture for kids that are not physically gifted. I know. All right, and so no, I do not think PE should be required. I also don't think that business should be required. That's an elective course. If you want to take business courses and stuff, I have no problem with that. But that should not be required of everybody, because that's not for everybody. Teaching in the UK, very different than the USA. I work 12 to 16 hours a day. I also work the majority of my holidays and weekends, probably have 4 weeks off. Well, Thundercats, here in the United States, you work 6 hours a day, and you get every holiday off. You get a week off for spring break, a week off for winter break, and you also get 3 months during the summer off. So it's a pretty sweet deal. But then they bitch about not being paid enough. Nice starship porn going on there. Thank you, Marlena. Yes, I love the Constitution. This is the best looking spaceship in all of science fiction. I don't care what anybody says. That is beauty. Nightbreeze says hi to everyone. Hey, Nightbreeze. Children in the UK can get a pot of money which follows them from school to school. If that child is from a poor background, the pot of money is topped up. But you see, here in the United States, it's not like that. Technically, they do get they get funding for having specific types of students in a school. They'll get extra funding because you have disabled kids or because you have kids of various ethnic groups. But it should be every kid determines, the funding should be equal, yes. Yes, I wouldn't want a federal school teaching religion. They F it up. Yes, I agree. Secondary is high school. Well, for us, secondary education is considered college. But primary education is kindergarten through 12th grade. PE should happen after school hours. It should be completely optional. I'm sorry, if kids want to do athletic stuff, they will. And I'm all for you can have school football teams and hockey teams and all that crap. That doesn't bother me. What bothers me is to force the nerds to go through it and get beaten up by the jocks. And that's what happened to me. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I got beaten up during frickin' PE. Captain Redneck is in the house. Good to see you, Captain. Says, I am to be released from my quality confinement today. Prepare your anuses. Put in such a way that only you could put, Captain Redneck. Good to see you. The problem with PE is this. Those who can't do, teach. Those who can't teach PE. Yeah. Teachers don't get paid, though. Try dealing with entitled parents. I believe you, but but I'm just saying that if we equalize everything, and by the way, PE coaches, I don't have a problem with them as long as they are, but I think that We need to make sure, just like any other group, that they're teaching them properly, that they're not just making them run around the track while they sit back and read a book. In junior college, I took a Religions of the World class. It was fair-minded, more than the history of major religions, very informative. Yes, but again, Wesley, you're talking about secondary education. And I said once you get into secondary education, everything is elective. So if you want to take religious studies at that point, fine. But in primary education, you will not be forced to talk about religion. Because for some people, they're going to hear things that they consider sacrilegious, whatever their faith may be, and that it's not the job of the state to determine what their spiritual beliefs should be. And B, some parents don't want to expose their kids to other religions until they're an adult. And that is their right. Sorry, that is their right. And that includes, by the way, atheists. That if they don't want their kids exposed to religion at all, they shouldn't. Yeah, I was hopeless as normal sports. I was hopeless at normal sports in school, but I hit 18 and went on to adventure sports, climbing, canoeing, etc. The only thing I did well, Peter, as far as physically, was I went backpacking in the Sierra Nevada mountains every year, a couple of times. And so, but that's more like an endurance walk, I guess is the best way to put it. But I enjoyed that. However, PE in school was just licensed to beat people up time. The jocks, and I can't even tell you the horrors of the dressing room. How many garbage cans I've been thrown in, how many jock straps I've had thrown at me, how many times I've had a wet towel snapped at me. No, that kind of torture for nerds needs to end now. I always got picked on when picking. Yeah, I would always be the last one picked for teams too, and that's always humiliating. Weak legs and asthma at school that are champions of multiple sports. The amount of times I got my butt kicked, I found a loophole in the third year and never done PE again. Yeah, I wish I had that loophole. Huh. But yeah, PE should have a different scoring system, just its heart rate instead of how many laps they run. Or, like I said, PE should just be, PE should be completely optional, and you can objectively measure someone's progress physically, right? Like you test them, and it's again standardized testing. At the beginning of a semester, you test, like, let's say they're taking a weightlifting class, so you test how much can you lift, right? And say, I don't know what good, I'm not a weightlifter obviously, but let's say you can lift 100 pounds, and then at the end of the semester you can lift 120 pounds. Hey, that's progress. Next semester, you start with the baseline of 120 and you move up. Captain Redneck says, I love beating up the fat kids at PE. The good old days. Well, you see, I wasn't fat. I was skinny. But yeah, you were the kind of guy that was beating me up, Redneck. Thanks. Give me, PTSD now. Thing is, you talk about getting rid of PE. Some idiot teacher will say, but how will they learn about acne and venereal diseases? To which I answer, in health class. Yeah, well, that's a part of your science curriculum as far as that's concerned, biology specifically, and so yeah, that's not a part of PE. And PE, like I said, PE is what it is. It's athletics, and if people are interested in it, you make it an elective course. We are nerds, of course. We got picked last at PE. Yeah, true. Costanza says BIRDOPREY. Can't stanza. What? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Bird. Enter. Agree with what you're saying. Start with a local junior college at least, then students can get 2 or 3 years of core classes out of the way. Junior colleges are great. I think that basically you should, in the public education system, after you graduate high school, so you go through 12th, 13th and 14th grade should be what we call a junior college today. And then from there you can go for an associate's, or if you want to continue on a bachelor's, if you want to continue on a master's, if you want to continue on a doctorate. I'd like to meet you when I go to Tennessee, which I live in Huntsville, Alabama. Well, Retro Lord, if you're ever passing through, I live in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Middle Tennessee. So if you're ever passing through Murfreesboro, and I've made this offer before, and I've actually met Reality Strikes a couple times, you send me a message on Discord of when you're going to be in town. If I can make it work, we'll meet at a local Waffle House or something and just hang out for a little bit and all that. I'm always open to doing that to anybody that passes through Middle Tennessee. And hopefully eventually, if I can get to be doing YouTube full time eventually, I will start traveling around to meet some of you. I would be all for religion in primary and secondary schools, high school, until you meet the man hating SJW teaching who 99 times out of 100 corrupts biblical message. Well, that's what I say. You do not need to get into that in primary education because you will get opinion, right? Same thing with teaching politics. You cannot teach liberal or conservative politics without inserting personal bias. It's not possible. I'm sorry. It's simply not. I can't sit there and talk about politics for any length of time without showing my bias. Nobody else can either. And so we need to leave that out of our primary education. It is not about indoctrination. We stick with things that are factual: reading, writing, arithmetic, right? History, science, facts, and only facts. There is no opinion about whether or not a chemical reaction will take place when you add these two chemicals together. That is fact. There is not an opinion on what 2 + 2 equals. It is fact. It is not an opinion on the history of the world and what happened. That is fact. It is not opinion on how the English language works. It is fact. And by the way, for all you idiots out there, literally does not mean figuratively. Figure it out. My God, people are dumb. Hoping you come over here next year. I truly do too, Black Adam. I told Mrs. Antchecker that's the first when we get a chance to travel, going to the Comic-Con out there in Ireland is absolutely at the top of my international list. What I would like to do is like go to Ireland for a couple of days, meet up with you and other people in Ireland, go over to England, meet Dr. Alex and others, keep Mrs. Antchecker away from him, maybe go over to France, meet up with Luke, see the Louvre. That would be my ultimate first international trip. I just want government in any form not to be involved in indoctrination, education, privatize it. I don't think privatizing education is the answer in this case. I do think because you will have to pay for it, and there are a lot of people that can't pay for it. And then you start setting up vouchers and crap like this. Well, then you got to have the government dictate how much the private education facilities can charge, and then you end up with low rent and high rent private. No, I think that would make too much of a mess. You make public education 100% free all the way up. Private education is unaffected. They can do that however they want. However, yeah, you leave out curriculum of indoctrination. You leave out religion. You leave out politics until you get to secondary level, until the kids are mature enough to have their own opinions. That's when you can start having the discussion, not before. My only problem with the Constitution class ship is the thickness of the neck. The neck should be about as thick as a compact car is long. Well, that's probably about how thick it is. I was lucky as a nerd, 6'3" and a little extra weight as well, so just no coordination, so I was never beat up, just verbally picked on. Well, Wesley, you are lucky then, because yeah, I was picked on a ton. So yeah. Thomas says, be funny if you go visit Bird without telling anyone, then when you start the stream on your channel, it's Bird, not you. I would love to do something like have Bird start a stream where he's sitting there, with his regular green screen stuff, and I would be like crouched down behind his bed and then like stick my head up so it would just appear in the green screen area. I think that would be a lot of fun. Darren says, it's the holder of a worthless English degree. I can tell you that it's the bane of our English major's existence is that English language is guided by those who misuse it. You are one, oh man, I tell you, I am not an English major in any way. I'm dyslexic, so I have enough trouble just comprehending English. But man, when people say things like, oh, I literally starved to death, I'm like, oh my God, do you not know what that means? Because you are not dead. The Trek bridges are so easily accessible. And you're talking about as a target for, yeah, but that was intentional. All right, guys. So with that, I am going to wrap it up, but I do want to say thank you for hanging out with me. Those of you that were able to super chat, thank you so much. You make a huge difference in my life and the lives of Mrs. Antchecker and Joshua. And YouTube, just